most confidential of all knowledge. I am speaking this for your highest benefit, because you are very dear to me. So, once again, so he's already spoken this, once again. Now let's see what is the 1865. Man mana mav, man mana bav, man pakto. Look familiar? Madhyashi mam namaskaro, man evish. Now up to this point, the verse is the same. And then just this last bit is different. So offer your mind to me, become my bhakta, by hearing and chanting, etc., about my names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. Worship me and offer obeisances to me. In this way you will certainly come to me. I promise you this truthfully, because you are very dear to me. Now, in the 3rd chapter of Vedanta Sutra, 3 kinds of devotees have been described. The Sanishtata devotee, the Pranishtata devotee, and the Nirapiksha devotee. So Sanishtata devotee means one who is doing some bhakti, but is also doing some karma, also has some worldly duties. And they think by doing these worldly duties, this is also part of my sadhana. And by doing this, it will purify me. And this is also part of my bhakti. So whatever I'm doing it for Krishna, and I'm getting some purification from this. So this is Sanishtata devotee. And then Parinishtata devotee, they are also doing some worldly duties for their maintenance, look after their family, this kind of thing. But their main concern is doing the 9 limbs of bhakti, hearing, chanting, remembering, paranam, sevanam, these kinds of things. Now, they don't have the mentality that what the worldly things that I'm doing them because they will purify me. Like looking after my husband, looking after my wife, this is part of my dharmic duty, and from this I'll get some purification. They don't think like that. They think that whatever I'm doing in terms of the worldly duties, one is to set an example for other people. That one, you don't just have to be a sannyasi, you can be engaged in the world and still have ananya bhakti, one-pointed devotion to Krishna. So there can be that mentality. But also whatever they're doing, that is, in terms of a worldly context, it's with the mentality, this can be engaged in Krishna's service. So this, if I have some business, I can use the profit from that business to serve Guru, to serve the Vaishnavas, to make programs for Krishna consciousness. So there's a mentality, there's a difference between the Sanishtata devotee and the Parinishtata devotee. And then the 3rd category is Nirapiksha devotee. Nirapiksha devotee means those in the renounced order of life. So in the renounced order of life, that means sannyasis, or maybe brahmacharis. They have no worldly, no connection to the worldly duties. So, manmana bhav manbhakto, absorb your mind completely in me. How can your mind be completely absorbed in Krishna if you have some worldly duties? So, when we're talking about ananya bhakti, one-pointed devotion to Krishna, can the first 2 categories do it? Sanishtata and Parinishtata. It seems like only the Nirapiksha devotees, the sannyasis or the brahmacharis, only they can be absorbed in Krishna, because the other people, they're doing some worldly things. Is it right?
I think not. Is it what they're getting at, that you can still be absorbed? Is that referring to always be chanting during doing your worldly duties and thinking about how you can use that in Krishna's service?
So Gurudev is saying here that the Parinishtata, the middle and the 3rd category, they can be Ananya Bhaktas. Because the first category, the Sanishtata devotee, they are thinking the worldly duties that I'm doing are purifying me. I'm doing my worldly dharma, and this worldly dharma is good, like explained earlier in the Gita, like Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, you should do your dharma, etc., etc. So the Sanishtata devotee is saying, this is good for me. to do this. It's purifying me. But the Parinishthita devotee, they're not thinking of that this world activity is purifying me. They're thinking that one, I'm doing it to set a good example for others, or two, I'm doing this in the service of Guru. So that they're not intercepting, their mood is not intercepted with there's still something about me in this. It's an offering. So in that way, they are still ananya bhakta, one-pointed in their devotion. But they have the distinction, they are not watering down their worldly activities, thinking that is some of the 9 angas of bhakti. Because in the 9 angas of bhakti, does it say book distribution or prasadam distribution? And the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and the 64 angas of bhakti is book distribution or prasadam distribution amongst them? It's not there. But Srila Prabhupada has said that book distribution, that is
Just push it.
same as chanting.
Just push it.
So even though that it's
Push it hard.
in the 64
Push it hard.
angas of bhakti or the 9 angas of bhakti, that Srila Prabhupada has said that book distribution is in the same category as chanting. So from that point of view, but from the point of view of Shastra, it's not in there. So the point here is that the Parinishthita devotee still has the vivek, the discernment between the 9 angas of bhakti and his worldly activities that he's engaging in the service of Guru, Vaishnavas and Krishna. So